Today we're taking a look at a colorful watch from D1 Milano. This has a rainbow bezel. It's not a watch that I typically would feature here on my channel. However, this is actually an affordable GMT powered by a 9075 from Miyota. So you're getting a traveler's GMT in an integrated bracelet watch with a PVD coating, all for $500. So let's flip the camera and take a look at one of the latest offerings from D1 Milano, their rainbow GMT. So this watch came out of left field. I did not think I was going to like it. However, when it came in for review, when I first saw it in person, I was blown away. This is actually really cool, especially considering the price on this. They are actually charging only $500 for this watch. And I'm gonna go into why I think that's a really good price. First, obviously, D1 Milano make mostly integrated bracelet watches. So this is an integrated bracelet watch. It gets a PVD coating on the case and on the bracelet. Even that bezel has a PVD coating. This is a rainbow bezel. Obviously, it has all different colors on the bezel, so that's why they are calling it a rainbow bezel. However, the dial is in black, and you have these hands that are actually very bespoke to this model. I've never seen hands like this on another D1 Milano, and I haven't really seen hands on any other watches like this. So this is not from off the shelf. They're very, very cool hands on here. They are sort of like stick hands. However, there's a white portion that sort of extends out, and it's almost like a needle at the end of the stick is the way that I would describe it. Very, very nice hands. And then you have a second hand. I don't know if the tip is Lume, but it's in white. And then you have the GMT hand. Now the GMT hand, I'm not sure if that's lumed, and we're gonna do a lume shot. I have no idea what is lumed on this dial and this bezel. However, this is a Miyota powered GMT. So you're getting a Miyota 9075 inside. So that means this is a traveler GMT. So stacking on the reasons why I think this is a really good watch at that $500 price point. Plus, this is a limited edition of 300 pieces. Now, D1 Milano are actually pretty popular, so 300 is not a lot of watches for them to make and probably very easily sell out of these. It gets a screwed-in crown and a screwed-in case back, and it only gets 50 meters of water resistance. So that's something that they typically do. I'm not sure why, but that's what they've done in the past. You do get a slightly boxed sapphire crystal on here, which is, again, a little bit different for a modern watch or a modern looking watch like this with an integrated bracelet. So that looks really good. It's a sapphire crystal. Again, all of these factors add into the $500 price point. I'm telling you, I really do think this is somewhat of a bargain. You do get a bi-directional bezel. So they did go the route of bi-directional. It is not that great, however, because it is a little bit wobbly. You can see it does move. It's a 24-hour bezel, which is actually useful, but you can see it's bi-directional. It doesn't sound terrible. It doesn't feel bad when you're actually using it. There is just a little bit of wobble in it. You can see that when I put it into the position there. But it does line up. It actually snaps back to that lined up position. So there you go. I don't think it looks terrible. I mean, I think it looks great. I don't think it works bad. I think it works actually pretty well. It's just that little bit of wobble in there. The indices also get a little bit of color on the inside of each one of the indices, sort of on that circular portion of the dial. There's a little bit of color that matches the colors outside on the bezel, which looks really good. You also have a chapter ring. There's a little bit of color in the chapter ring. It's red, so some of the markings there are red. So lots of colors, but since it's subdued with all of this black, it doesn't look like a rainbow bezel. It actually looks pretty tame in normal light, normal everyday. It's not really crazy, and I really like that. So they give you something that's in theory pretty crazy, a rainbow bezel, but it's really not. It actually works really well. I wouldn't say this is crazy looking at all. In fact, I don't think people would actually notice that you have that much color or different colors on your bezel and on your dial. It's very, very tastefully done. Gonna throw the D1 Milano on my wrist in just a second, but I wanted to show you the watch that I have on today. This is one of my latest purchases. This is a minute repeater. I'm gonna let it chime out so you could hear it. So it didn't chime out the correct time, so there is something wrong with it, but that was the time when I chimed it out last, right before I did this video, so that's the reason why that happens. It has to cycle through and then it will chime correctly. So you could do it only once in a while. It's a very fickle watch, but it's a really cool minute repeater and I'm very excited to own it. So very quickly, throw the D1 Milano on my 7.5 inch wrist. Well, there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist, and it does look pretty crazy. It actually looks kind of more bright on my wrist for some reason. I don't know, but you definitely get a lot more of that color. It looks really good. This is a 42 millimeter watch. So it's 42 millimeters at the case. It's around 41.5 millimeters at the bezel. The lug to lug is around 49.5 millimeters at the case. At that bracelet, you do get a female end link. However, it does sort of stick out a little bit, so it's around 52 millimeters. And then the thickness on this watch with 50 meters of water resistance and the sapphire crystal obviously is 11.5 millimeters. So there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist, and I think, you know, a 41 millimeter or 42 millimeter integrated bracelet watch definitely wears a little bit larger, maybe like a 43 millimeter watch, but nothing too crazy. I have no idea if they loomed this watch and what they have loomed, so let's try and see if there's any lume on the watch. Well, there you go. I think there's a little bit of a missed opportunity here. There is only a little bit of lume on the indices and hands. It's really not heavily lume and it's fading pretty quickly. It would have been really cool if they used different color lume on the bezel, maybe on the indices to give it that rainbow look, even in the dark. However, you could see it's fading very, very quickly. Unfortunately, this definitely could use a little bit more lume. That being said, it is a very weird, very cool watch that gives you a lot for the money. So $500, you're getting a Miyota 9075. This could be one of the cheapest watches that I have seen with that movement inside, especially considering you're getting a PVD coated integrated bracelet watch with that. So pretty cool. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of this watch? Is it too crazy? Is it too colorful? Is it not colorful enough? Do you want to see more color than they've actually put here? They've done something a little bit different from what I have seen in the past. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you in the next video.